Alright, this time I will talk about controlling companies. In this problem, we will use depth-first search for every company I, and using the depth-first search, we'll check all the other companies that it has control under. So here's my code. I created this adjacency array, and what this does is that if adj ij is equal to p, that means that company I has p% of the shares for company j. So we'll loop through all the companies. You can go through all the companies from 1 to 100 because it says that all the numbers are in the range from 1 to 100. So for every of this, I created this visited array and I set it to 0. And also I created this share array and set it to 0. The share array will keep track of how many percent of each company we own, the company I owns. So every time here, we first set share I to 100 because we know that the company owns itself. And then we can use depth-first search. Just receives an index, which is basically the company, and sets it to visited because afterwards we don't want to go back to it again and it will just go in a loop forever. Then we'll check all the other companies from 1 to 100. If this company I does have a percentage of share over company J, and if we didn't visit it, and if we didn't visit J yet, then we will add the amount of shares that we have control over J by adj_ij. So this will increase the amount of shares that we have over company J. And then we check if this amount of share is greater than 50%. Because if this is greater than 50%, then we can also have control over all the companies that company J controls. So then if company I has over 50% of the shares from company J, then we will also use DFS on company J, and then it will also check all the companies that it has control under. And after we visited all of them, or maybe we don't have any other companies that we can control, this recursion will stop. And then here in this loop, we'll check for all the companies that we just looped through, that we use DFS on. So if share J is greater than 50, this means if we have over 50% of the company J, and J is not equal to I, which means that because we don't want to print out that a company owns itself, we want to print out other things like these. We don't want identical numbers, so we will check if it's the same company or not. If it's not the same company and we have over 50% of the shares, then we will print out company I space company J, meaning that company I has control over company J. And you go through this loop for every company, and most of the time it wouldn't take that long because if the input isn't that big, then we won't have this recursion for too long. So yeah, this is basically it for this problem.